I am so far down the rabbit hole. So yeah, like I said, I've been spending so much time in these Twitter spaces. It's crazy. It's like I dropped out of school and like it's like I'm right back in school. Like, I can't even believe how much I've learned over the past few days, week or whatever. Like there is so much information there right now that I literally can't. Like I just finally like this Twitter space just ended. I listened to the whole thing, um, and there's always another one. And again, like the information is just it's crazy. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to express or explain. But the reason I want to talk about it is like, um, okay, so I've been getting into crypto. It's definitely here to stay. It is the future of currency. Um, it's still in its infancy, and there's going to be a lot of changes. New things are going to come up. So, um, but then I've got people asking me about it. How to buy it. What to buy. Um, and uh, and I'm not going to get into that. Um, because what I want to talk about is like this is moving so fast and it's so deep and complex. And just I'll put it this way: just looking at what's going up, what's going down, and kind of hearing like what they're talking about on like the news, especially like that's so far behind what's really happening. And so why like okay, I'll just get straight to it. Like if even just one person will listen to me and get into and I don't care like what your opinion like okay maybe you don't like Twitter, maybe you stopped using it a long time ago, it's not your thing, get over it. Please just get over that because I'll put it this way: if even just one person gets into this and like okay, here's how you might want to do it. Like if you're interested in crypto, of course, like maybe watch some like YouTube videos, maybe do, go to the, see if you can find like the website, about it or whatever. Look into it a little bit, but like you're not, and I said this before, like that's not going to tell you very much. You can read the white paper, it's going to be useless for you for the most part. Like even if you are a computer scientist or and it makes sense to you, it's still useless, okay? Because there's so much more to, because you have to understand like a cryptocurrency only gets its value from people, like human beings, and obviously it could be institutions, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's people putting money into something. Like there's not a product, that is being sold. Some of them are trying to offer sort of like services and incentives and like bonuses, rewards, all these different things. But it's still, it's different from a company. It's different from a stock, um, and so you have to understand that like that the people that are putting money to this thing, like, um, in a way, these are communities, right? And as this is growing in popularity, they are definitely becoming communities for sure. So I'm sure everyone knows, like, I'm definitely heavy into Doge. Um, but the reason I'm so heavy into it is because, sorry, I'm just gonna make sure my mic's working. I'm not wasting my time. Is it going? Yeah, cool. Um, that yeah, it's the community that I feel like I'm investing in. The knowledge, the people are so cool. Like we've got from celebrities, to like it'll be NFL players talking to people that have a PhD, and then people who are coming from like Wall Street, like nurses, like military vets, like lawyers, like every walk of life is coming into these meetings and sharing their information. And so whether they're explaining things to people or asking questions. And like, I got so lucky that in the last few days, I've gotten to speak in a lot of these spaces. And to be able to ask questions or debate a little bit or even like clarify things for people, like sometimes people will be in an argument and then, you get a chance to step in and be like, hey, this is what this guy's saying or what, like, there's so many facets to it. But, um, the what I want to say is this. So like if one person even just gets into this and starts looking up their coin or token or whatever, they're just curious or asking questions. It doesn't have to be one. It could be everything that you're interested in. But find the communities and then like gets into these spaces. I promise you anybody who gets into this and like sticks with it and starts finding the value in this information, this like real time on the fly, because crypto moves so fast. Okay, like you could have a token that today everyone is talking about, and everyone is like, "Oh, this is going to go to the moon, and it's the next big thing, right?" And then tomorrow there could be any kind of change, and if you don't know what's happening, like. And I don't want it to sound like this like super. I mean, it is so quick that it might be kind of stressful, but like that's not what I'm. I don't want you to get stressed out about it. I just want someone to be like, sort of in love with like the information. You know what I mean? Like it's so cool. But um, if you do this, okay, and you stick with it, and you start getting, and you will see very quickly how much information and how valuable it is. Like it won't take very long for you to be like, oh, I get it, I see. I've never learned so much in my life. And again, all your questions can be answered. Whether you, even if you don't get a chance to go up and speak, you can still like DM or at them and ask your questions. And oftentimes they will ask it in there, and hopefully someone answers. And most often someone does. So, but yeah, that person, if you listen to me, whoever you are, and you get into this and start learning, asking questions, you're going to make a lot of money if that's what you're after, right? Or you're going to find a lot of success. And even if it's not the money or whatever, something incredible will happen from this. Even if, like, even just the people that I've met and gotten to interact with, it's already just like, I wasn't expecting to find like friends or like a community or whatever, right? But that's what's happening. And like, especially like the moment I got to like, I wasn't expect I wasn't expecting to get this because I requested, and of course I had these ideas, things I wanted to say, and then all of a sudden they were like bringing me up, and then I was like, I got nervous. I was like, wait, what? I got like an adrenaline rush because I just wasn't expecting it, and then I was like, it's not like about like being embarrassed or like shy. It was just like, oh, like now a lot of people are gonna hear me, and again, I wasn't expecting it at all, and so yeah, I was like nervous at first, but then like obviously like after just a little bit, it was totally cool, and I love doing it now. I love speaking and asking questions and like I don't know, because like sometimes people aren't necessarily the best communicators, and it's nice to be able to step in and like help out in that regard. Like I don't have all the answers, so I'm not, but still getting to share like my experience and what I do know is really cool. Um, and I'm constantly like every time I talk, I'm just like, man, like, do I even know anything at all? Like just because like you get people like I'm not going to get into the details now, but like you get people who really, really, really know their stuff. Like there's this one guy in one of the uh, I guess I'll say it. And I actually don't own any SafeMoon. I'm not against SafeMoon. I want to be clear. Like, I actually don't own any of it yet. However, I keep hanging out in that community because I'm learning so, so, so much. And I can't speak for every person that, is a SafeMoon, holder or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, this group that usually has like a few hundred people in it constantly learning, constantly sharing information, and finding new information and bringing that to light, which is so cool. And of course, you take everything with a grain of salt. Just because someone says something in a meeting or whatever doesn't mean it's true. But people also are just everyone's a skeptic, right? So it's not like these are like culty type things where like when something sounds like bullshit, it gets called out very quickly. And like and they're so fun too. It's like these like it's like a podcast, and yeah, and like I want to say like the difference between like Clubhouse and like these Twitter Spaces is that the Twitter Spaces has that foundation of like this that social network, and then the Spaces are on top of that. Whereas Clubhouse just wanted to only be that thing, which ended up just being like when I had Clubhouse, I would just get tons of notifications about all these different like groups talking, and I didn't know who or what. It was just annoying. Like, yeah, I deleted that app very quickly, and so that's the difference here with with this is that like there's still the underlying like communication, the tweets, that quick info, and and that's super important because you're not obligated or stuck just in these spaces. You choose, and then and in my opinion, it's easier to find what you really want. But yeah, like yeah, I was gonna say like this. There's this one guy who anytime he shows up in one of these uh, groups and he starts talking, literally it's just like it's like the only way I can describe it is just like gold coming out of his mouth. Just like the information, the wisdom is just like next level. Like it's like moving to hear that kind of like intelligence and someone being willing to share, like, because like I don't know what this person has been through. I think they've, like people have some difficult lives, and goddamn, like to be able to go through whatever these people go through, and then to have so much, or to be so valuable and to share that, it's crazy. um but yeah, I want to put it this way, like, and I'm probably all over the place now, but like I said, like this is moving so quickly and changing so quickly. Like there's going to be new cryptos, new exchanges, new technologies, new forms of blockchain, like new algorithms, like new protocols, new everything, and it's going to keep changing and changing and changing. So like I said, what's valuable today, a year from now, might not even be relevant or exist anymore. Like, and so, and the reason I want to talk about this is because I'm getting more and more people asking me, questions, which is cool. Like I'm always happy to help. I always try to share as much information as I can, responsibly, of course. Like I'm not going to tell you where to put your money, because it's still all a gamble. And like I said, it changes every day. But that's the thing, is that, like, you know, the people that are okay. I said it before. It's not a get rich quick scheme, because you can lose all your money, and you're probably, if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably more likely to lose money. Okay, and also by the time you're hearing about any type of crypto, in terms of making like the crazy gains where people think they're going to become a millionaire, it's going to change their life. If by the time you're hearing about a coin, it's too late for that. Doesn't mean you can't double triple your money. That's There's still room for that, which, keep in mind, your money could easily get cut, just as like it's yeah, like for example, like I just threw I had one coin where like I put 20 bucks in, and then it turned into 500 bucks. That was cool, right? I have another one where I put in like 150, and that 150 is like 40 bucks right now. It might even be like 30 bucks right now, so, and so I'm just gonna wait, and maybe it'll recover, and maybe my money is just gone. Like I'm just gonna like, but when I put that 150 in there, I was like, this is gone to me. It doesn't matter what happens, right? Anytime you put your money in a crypto, just assume it's gone. Okay, no matter how much you have, just assume it's gone. But but yeah, like by the time that you're hearing about something that 10,000% change, that 20,000% change, like other people have already become a millionaire from that, and so you're probably not going to, unless you have enough money to maybe build. You know what I mean? Like if you have $500,000, okay, yeah, you might become a millionaire, because, well, I mean, you already were going to become a millionaire if you have that kind of money. It'd be really hard to mess that up. um, so yeah, that's the thing, is that like it's moving so quickly. There's still so much happening that the only way, like you're gonna get burned if you can't keep up with what's really happening. You're just gonna keep buying things at the top, and then it's gonna start crashing a little bit or pulling back. Again, by the time you hear it, it's probably too late. And so yeah, like you can go on Reddit, you can go on YouTube. Like the problem with like Reddit is like there's so much just bullshit, and it's just like typing, right? Um, and so having these spaces, you get to hear people, you get to know who they are. It's not so anonymous, right? Like people want you to know who they are. And it's just such a crazy thing. Like the okay, I'll give some examples. Like yesterday, or last night, I listened to, and I'm actually going to upload it. I recorded the conversation because I knew it was going to be really good, and it was about Flare Network, and like the Flare team is like this one guy who used to like trade derivatives, and worked at a hedge fund, and would buy, his thing was like buying futures, and obviously probably made a ton of money off that. And he got bored of that in 2016, and then decided to go learn machine learning. Met this guy who also he had a background in this other guy has a background in like electrical engineering, I think physics also, and then also decided to learn machine learning, and then they started collaborating on a project, and then they hired this other person that their background is quantum computing. So like these are people who are really smart, really hardworking, really talented, and I got to hear that main guy talk for like 2 hours, if not longer. Um, and I don't even know how. Again, I'll post it. So which I felt weird about doing, but like other people were recording it too, so it's not like I was being like a creep or anything. But um, yeah, just again, like I can't speak for the information; it speaks for itself. But like I learned so much, and like basically like in one night, my view of the whole crypto space or world or whatever almost like flipped on its head. Like and like another thing is that like you could have friends like okay, if anyone ever claims that they're like a crypto expert, just like block them. like 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 I've been learning, researching, doing whatever, listening to all these things, and I would still say I'm just a baby in this, right? Like, and even the people that know a lot, that I can tell know a lot more than me, I would even 10 times more than me, they're still babies too. Like this is not easy stuff, and like I said, it just more and more keeps being added to this like pool of information, right? Every day something new cool is happening and sometimes bad. Like I remember in like one of the spaces, we were talking, and then while we were talking somebody got an alert or like a DM from somebody, and this one crypto, another scam one where people were buying into it thinking, I think it was a fair moon. Yeah. If you go look at it, it goes from it dropped, all of it's gone. All of it's gone. Everyone lost all their money. The I think the original like Twitter account is gone. Maybe the website is still up. It might be gone too. But like, yeah, everyone lost all their money and they're not going to get it back. And that happens a lot. People get excited about something. There's all this hype built up, and then it's a rug pull. So you got to be so careful. And but yeah, like for example, and I'm not saying buy XRP. I'm not like I never want to tell anyone where to put their money. Um, but I had heard from a friend that like they would always call XRP like a shit coin, and then they had some trouble with like the SEC. They may or may not have done something wrong, but the combination of like my friends saying stay away from that, it's a shit coin, nothing like like, and back then it was literally like nothing, okay, like nothing, and now I think it's in like the top 5 most valuable cryptos in the world, I believe. And so if not top 5, then top 10. But but because of my friend and me not doing research and not actually finding out for myself, I just assumed that especially once I heard this SEC thing, I was just like, oh, like why would I ever buy that? Like there's nothing to it. They might even get shut down. Turns out at most they might get like a fine. Like they're not going anywhere, and I had no idea of the kind of work and innovation that they were leading. Like not even for their own project, like they're literally even funding other projects to help make things more efficient, faster, more secure. Just it's crazy, but I didn't know that until this like meeting last night, but I never even checked it out because of something that someone told me. So it's like you really, really, really need to find this information for yourself. And so my concern is that like I think people are going to start looking at crypto because you can make so much money um, off of it, that they're just going to start buying things just when they hear about it. And that's really, 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 really dangerous. Okay, extremely dangerous. And so yeah, my advice is like if you really want to make that money, in my opinion, and that doesn't mean you can't get lucky, right? Like you might have a friend who like or whatever, like you might get lucky, okay? We'll just put it that way. But if you really okay, it's not that easy. That's what I have to break it down to is like, you know, look, I'm talking to people that have made millions off crypto, right? Made crazy gains that were in early, and they're still trying to figure it out and looking for the next thing, and trying to avoid risk, right? Like it's if you want to okay, if you want to get rich off this, you got to put the work in. That it's really just as simple as that. Of course, you can get lucky, but you're more likely to lose all your money, especially as this keeps going, because it's going to be the people on the front lines sharing that real time information, real time updates. Um, and the other thing is like being in these communities. Who do you think is going to get all the information first? Like who's going to share the information? Who's going to tell like the leaders in these communities or the most important people or the people who are speaking? Like who is going to get DM'd about this particular thing? Who's going to get the first pick on whatever, right? If you're not part of these communities, you're going to be so 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 far behind, and then you're going to keep wondering like, wait, how are these people making all this money all the time consistently? How are they always first in? And it's because they're doing the work, because they're listening, because they're talking to each other and building out that network. And I've met so many people, I can't even believe the people that I've gotten to interact with. And so yeah, I just um I'm I'm not really trying to like advocate necessarily for Twitter or whatever, but as of right now, I don't see any place where you can get this value of information, right? Like this is crazy. Like, oh yeah, and I was gonna say the one that I just listened to was less technical, but I was in there for a bit, and this one was really cool. It was a women only, women in crypto, like who buy or sell or are new to it, because a lot of the times like the spaces can be sort of like male dominated, and so yeah, this one lady hosted a space. There was a few hundred people in there, and the only people that were allowed to come up to speak were women. And they were just talking about like some are lawyers and nurses. They have their own business. They're artists, photographers, like all different kinds of people getting to talk about like where they're at. How they discovered crypto. Like they're asking questions about it. Like it was just so cool. To like hear their life stories. Like people come from all over. Like this is a global thing, right? So people are talking from Europe, from Africa, from anywhere. Like and then yeah, everyone got their bit of time to just like talk about whatever. Some people are brand new. Like some people are moms, and they were like, oh, I don't know anything about crypto, but my son kept telling me about it, and I didn't know anything about it. And then I finally got into it, and then I made some money, and that's where I'm at now. Everyone has got their story, and it's so cool. But yeah, and please ask me questions. Like I'm always happy to help, but like I'm not an expert. Nobody's really an expert. Like like the only people that are experts are the ones that are literally like in there, working on the computers, designing this stuff. Those are going to be the only people that are experts. Anybody else is still, not even close. So, um, yeah, I don't know how because like I've been telling people about these Twitter Spaces, and no one seems to give a shit. Like, which is so funny. Like people want the easy money, but they don't want to put the work into it. And it's like, sorry, like I mean, you may as well just go buy a lotto ticket, like if you don't want to do anything, any kind of work at all, and just hope that it's gonna and yeah, like there are some things that I think are a bit obvious that they will do very well, um, and so that's fine, like it doesn't, like I don't need to go convince someone to probably buy Bitcoin or maybe buy some Ethereum, and I think at this point, like Doge or XRP or whatever, like those probably seem pretty obvious. So yeah, that's easy. But like I said, like if you're trying to make that crazy money, it is not going to be just seeing something, reading something, and then you pick it, and then no, 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 that's over with for the most part, because other people are doing that too, and they're way ahead of you. So like I said, yeah, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. So, yeah, I highly, highly recommend if you don't have a Twitter, just make an account, find what you're interested in, whether it's a particular coin or you're trying to figure out how to, use an exchange. Like, just start adding people, following people. People like the communities are so nice. It's crazy. Like, very welcoming. They, you know, just get into a space like a request, and it doesn't matter how silly. It doesn't matter if it's like a such an easy question, and maybe you could just Google it and get an answer. But hearing it from people is still just so much better. So yeah. Anyway, have a good night.